This graphic is a summary of main group ions whose charges you need to know. Family 1A has a +1 charge, family 2A has a +2 charge, aluminum in family 3A has a +3 charge. Notice that metals have a positive charge, and hydrogen is the only nonmetal that tends to have a positive charge. The nonmetals in family 5A have a -3 charge, the nonmetals in family 6A have a -2 charge, and family 7A has a -1 charge. Notice that the noble gases, or family 8A, do not form ions because noble gases are already stable. Let's see if you can apply what you've learned. Pause the video and assign the expected charge for each of the atoms listed. Capital S, lowercase e, or selenium, capital K, or potassium, capital O, or oxygen, capital A, lowercase l, or aluminum, capital B, lowercase r, or bromine, capital C, lowercase a, or calcium. Looking at our first example of selenium, we can see by looking at the periodic table that it is in family 6A. That means there are 6 valence electrons, which is 2 electrons short of the noble gas valence electron number of 8. Thus, selenium will form an ion with a charge of -2 to gain 8 valence electrons. Selenium is a nonmetal, and it forms an anion by gaining 2 electrons. Looking at potassium, we see that it is in family 1A, which means it has 1 valence electron. If it loses that electron, it will have 18 electrons like argon, and thus a noble gas configuration. Potassium will have a charge of +1. Notice that potassium is a metal and forms a cation by losing 1 electron. Looking at oxygen, we see that it is like selenium in family 6A. Thus it will form an ion with 2 extra electrons, or -2, to get 8 valence electrons. Oxygen, which is a nonmetal, forms an anion by gaining 2 electrons. Aluminum is in family 3A, which means aluminum has 3 valence electrons. It loses 3 electrons to gain a noble gas configuration of neon. The charge on the ion that aluminum forms is +3. Notice that aluminum is a metal and forms a cation by losing electrons. Next is bromine. Notice that it is in family 7A, so it has 7 valence electrons and only needs 1 electron to gain a noble gas configuration. Thus, bromine forms an ion with a -1 charge. Bromine is a nonmetal and forms an anion by gaining 1 electron. Our last example is calcium. Calcium is in family 2A and has 2 valence electrons. If it loses 2 valence electrons, calcium will obtain a noble gas configuration. Thus, calcium will have a +2 charge. Notice that calcium is a metal and loses 2 electrons to form a cation.